After the Las Vegas Raiders released their full list of UDFAs that they had signed, or undrafted free agents, for those of you that don't understand acronyms, I was pretty excited because there was one name on the list that, after doing a lot of research on, watching a lot of tape, and realizing what they got, I think they got somebody that could definitely make some noise along the defensive line. In defensive tackle, Tomari Fox coming up out of North Carolina. And I believe that he is the UDFA Gem out of the 17-player class that there was. Now, Carter Bradley could make a case for this. I know we talked about some of the other players, but Tomari Fox, I think, could be in the NFL. If he gets in the right situation, like he is with the Raiders, I think he could be a 5 to 10 sack a year type guy, and I don't think it'll be a problem. And so we're going to go into it here as to why we believe in Tomari Fox. There's a lot of different reasons. But giving you a background, first off, he was a former 3-star recruit coming up out of high school. And if I'm not mistaken, he was actually offered deals with Virginia Tech and all of that stuff, but did ultimately commit to North Carolina. And like I said, he showed a lot of promise. 6'3", 300 pounds, really was good as a D end, and was converted eventually into a defensive tackle. But you'll see here, came on as a true freshman there for the Tar Heels and made some noise. So 2 sacks in his first game against Syracuse. Now, take this with a grain of salt, because that was when you had Tommy DeVito there, and basically his offensive line let everybody through. So I take it with a grain of salt, but really I watched the entire game and watched a couple of other games with him. He just has a motor that doesn't stop, but we'll get to it. But really stood out in his freshman year there, had 46 total tackles, 6 tackles for loss, and 4 sacks. Came back his sophomore year, a little bit more modest, still finding his place, 24 tackles, a sack, and a couple tackles for loss. And then 2022. So now we had covered it earlier, but he was suspended for 2022 due to using an not approved, I think it was a pre-workout mixture or whatever in his drink. So the NCAA did suspend him for that year, but he came back in 2023, and I get it. It was really hard for him to come back in that certain type of scenario, because it's really hard for coaches to take out guys that have been in there for a full entire year. And even though that Fox did really do some really good things, he didn't really find his footing there with North Carolina, but did finish with 14 tackles, a sack and a half, a sack and a tackle and a half for loss. And so why do we love Tomari Fox? Number one, if you watch him in the Syracuse game, if you watch him in every game he plays in, every play is his last. His hair is on fire. It is the last-ditch effort no matter what. He always plays hard. I love to see it. Number 2, he's got quick hands, and he's got great reaction off the snap. I think that there's not a time where you watch him that he is not immediately to the offensive line after the ball is snapped. You love to see that. He's got great reaction, great hands-on placement when he gets there, and he's going to go over there. He's pretty immovable, too, which is good to see. Defensive tackle, DN's flexibility. I saw him bounce around both tackle spots a little bit there for North Carolina. I think he could line up at defensive end if you really wanted to mix things up here for the Raiders. I think it's just an option, maybe if you want to be a little bit more solid in your run game overall. But I also think that, again, yes, his first hand snaps and placement off the snap, it makes him really hard to move. He takes up double teams surprisingly well for a guy that's only 300 pounds, and he's pretty good against the run. Also, the talent is there. Yes, I know that we talked about his freshman year there at North Carolina, and after he got into the scene, you really realize that he could be somebody that really did and continue to improve and show off his skills. But I really love him for his fit with the Raiders, because you got Christian Wilkins, you got you got Tyree Wilson, you got Max Crosby, you've got all these guys that are playmakers along the defensive line, and overall, I really feel like Fox is not going to be pressured. He can find his place with the Raiders. He can go through the idea of getting better every single day and going up against an offensive line that's going to be pretty good. At the very least, he might be a practice squad candidate for this year, but I think after he's gotten that full year to kind of reset himself, get into an organization like the Raiders and establish himself, I think he could be definitely someone to watch and definitely be a player that makes a difference for the Raiders down the road. But hey, let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below. But let us know what you guys think about defensive tackle Tomari Fox being an absolute gem, or UDFA gem, for the Las Vegas Raiders.